This next slide is very important, and access to lecturers, having lectures, comes up time and time again in the findings, and it's the most valued learning opportunity by students of all the learning opportunities that are undertaken at the faculty. And I think this list of quotes goes from students' mouths, goes a long way to bring that point across. I think we need the lectures. They are quite important. The information you can get is great, or as another student said, you can literally get any information on the internet, but it's very difficult for us to apply that information to a context where we can understand it. And from another student, I think why we enjoy the lectures so much is because it's someone actually explaining the process and explaining how it works and putting it in context where we can understand it. Lecturers show us the applications of all the knowledge. Lectures are mostly to see what material is emphasized. And lastly, lecturers point out clinical correlates. It is all very well and fine to know the mutations that are associated with von Willebrand's disease, but if we don't know whether PT or PTT will be affected if you take blood from a patient, then I don't think we are getting the most important part of the story. So what is it about lectures and lecturers that students value? So they get a thumbs up as the primary source of information that they're going to use to convert to knowledge. They value it for its currency. It's viewed as current. Textbooks to a certain extent are viewed as not current. They value it for the assessment range, the ability to tell them how much to study for the exam. Very importantly, they value it for clinical contribution. That's why they're at medical school, to learn about being a clinician. And they value it for direct access to the lecturer, for the ability to be able to ask a question. Interestingly, students did not attend a lecture if the lecturer was poor. And here's a quote from a student that highlights that: a lecturer that teaches the material makes the work much easier to revise, as opposed to a lecturer that just speaks on the topics. So a lecturer must not read their slides, as a student said, but rather explain difficult concepts or use humor to illustrate different points. With respect to the lecture slides, massive thumbs up. Students want those slides before lectures because they want to be able to use that to take notes during the lecture. And interestingly, there was quite a bit of perceived unequal access to lecture slides. Students did use the recorded lectures. Some utilized them when they couldn't attend a live lecture, and some used them without going to live lectures at all. And then for those students, the unavailability of the lecture in video format was a massive frustration for the student.